Shall we have a conversation today? Also about trading strategies and so on. In general, there are two types of trade, but mainly this considers risk management in a traditional context without excluding other perspectives. Honestly, I'm unsure about the exact level. My viewer's knowledge is probably different. Well, I decided to write down a little bit of what I saw and tell me how to count risks. I will tell you about other systems. Classic. This serves as a comprehensive risk management framework. The risk per day ranges from 1 to 35% per day of the deposit. Yes, that is, how is this calculated for you? Let's say you have a deposit of $1,000. From that amount, hypothetically, you might allocate 3% of this $300. Here's your risk per day. How would it turn out to be $30 in total? Possibly allocated for a single transaction, but not very logical. That is, yes, the usual business there is for 3 transactions. For 3 transactions, there is essentially a conditional risk of $10 per transaction. What steps should follow next? Well, there's that $10 amount, which you could potentially lose on every position you take throughout the day. Stop loss. Yes, but this is essentially a stop loss for you. The size of the stop loss is $10. Based on this size, are you counting stop loss? The size of the position. That is, there is no other way. Now I will show you approximately how this is done. Previously there were formulas and you had to calculate it all manually. Now thank God everything is easier to see. Well, let's say you want to take shorts from 23.77 on the air. Achieve that target. Short 23.77. Then I have all this, some kind of demo account I specially opened so that the balance does not show. All 23.77. We are announcing a new position. Let's consider a stop loss of 2400. Where do 400 come from? Take a profit. Considering 3 times the population of 2400 and adding 300 for pensions, our total is 23. Well, conditionally 3 profit 8. Well, there's another one. So hold on a moment. All right, that makes sense. $8. Well, 2,290. Yes. What exactly are we doing here? We initially put the shoulder 1-to-1. Done. It's clearly demonstrated here. Your risk is essentially the expected return minus 1. You and I have $10 accordingly. Let's increase this deposit here by another one. Well, let's say, okay, 1%. The anticipated profit will be minus 1%. Or am I using it? Recalculated. You can be. $100, 9%. Here we have an opportunity to bet, as it turns out. $100 there with the first shoulder. Well, that's 1% we'll have from this. 1,000 for this, we will conditionally have $10. Here, 10 and 36 were inaccurately counted. Nevertheless, it doesn't matter. Here's $1,000 landing. And we in Sol have the entire deposit of $1,000 with you, which means what we do next. We then do, let's say, put 5 shoulders and not just 1 unit. Yes, but we reduce the position size by a factor of 5. We'll have 200 frost. 200 margin. Additionally, there is the $10 area that we should consider. Stop loss. Our risks remain essentially unchanged in this scenario. This is how the shoulders are used. When risk management is observed, that is, we simply use these shoulders to regulate our missing margin. The risks remain the same. Therefore, we can all be susceptible to any of these, hypothetically speaking. Let's discuss Bitcoin again and consider trying the Bitcoin block. We must present the same deferred applications. For instance, we desire a total of 84 units. Take loan. At the same time, we allow the risk there. 2,000. Since 2000. That is, he asks. We're doing it. 9,000. We are now talking about a breakthrough here. Let's say we set our shoulder to 0, all by oneself. Shoulder 1. Position your feet to initiate movement and observe. So we look at stop loss, approximately $10. Alright, as we examine here, the margin appears sufficient, however, adjustments can be made. But in order to simply reduce it in the summer, we will still sell some other 3 assets, as if the buyer were to sell, you never know, there won't be enough walruses. We can put as if 5 leverage with nothing conditionally and without risk, and simply reduce the position by 5 times. So, what exactly was the anointing money about? It's like 90-0. 10. And that's it, and we kind of go in. Everything is clear and so on all assets, as if a long shot no matter what. How would you pay attention? Only these figures are at your risk per transaction. What next? It involves profitability when enforcing risk management to optimize yield per deposit, if one employs risk management and trades within defined risks. In general, I would estimate that a proficient trader achieves 10 to 20% return on deposit per month, meaning there are no multiples. But of course, they are there sometimes. Yes, once in a while I went straight to somewhere. Well, this is more of an exception than the rule to calculate, as if it were necessary anyway. Beginners can be there at all. Who has somewhat reached a stable performance? He trades for a long time with those over there, 5, 10, 20, 0%, 15. And that represents a favorable monthly interest. This is very good. You don't think that if a trader there earns 10% on a deposit per month, then he is bad. This is a very good indicator. So what else I wanted to say, but I think you kind of figured out how to calculate the dependencies on deposit and risks and the size of the position. Furthermore, what steps should be taken if you have no desire to proceed? 10, 15, 20% per month, seeking significant returns. And decide to trade without stop loss. Our goal is to achieve a range of 15 to 20% on investments totaling between 300 to 400 and other amounts. This is also possible, but again, the risks match the rewards. We have now eliminated the constraints on risk limitations. Moreover, it's essential to grasp that there is a possibility of losing your full deposit. And there were periods in the market when, as it were, it could range from standard bargaining practices. For example, during this phase within the sidewall, it functions exceptionally well. Even indicators like URSAL can be effectively utilized within these sidewalls. Stochastics there and so on, they all sideways will work great. Well, how can we open this side door? Although seemingly unfortunate, this ally is fundamentally outstanding, providing a profitable opportunity. Without a top-notch mousse resembling a reinforced sidewall, and so on. It's kind of... Here's the detailed situation. In principle, this piece remains steady even during trading. Here too, the beauty has been there for a year, or how long they have been there. Such a strategy without stop loss. I'm kind of not a fan of newbies. How to give? Such advice suggests that trading without stop losses could be a relatively safer option. Still, relative to everything, there are still risks of loss. You divide your deposit into 10 parts. You split them into 10 sections, trading with no more than 12 instruments. Basically, you invest 1/10 of your deposit. For example, let's assume there are 5 to 10 leverage ratios. And average out afterwards. If everything goes, it's not in your direction. Connect immediately and check the margin, that is, see where your liquidation is located. What is your opinion on this matter? Please take it and have a look. Oh God. Historical data. The depth of the fall at a time, yes, from where you cannot average. Let's say you get out this time. Look, she has dropped down by 3,500. Well, conditionally to ceased by 1,500, then fell by 60% to 0. You are good at calculations, aren't you? So that you can get out of this story. That is the first position you took, let's say, in the worst place. Here, yes, you will need to save the margin so that it is not liquidated until here. That is, the crypto market is a little different from Forex in this regard there and so on, where positions can be summed up. You will have an average output there and so on. You will have a loss, but there will also be a liquidation. In other places, like in the crypto market, a little friend, and all of you think, as if this is the first position. Let's say you calculate a deposit so that you have enough margin to finish, as if so that it is not liquidated, and a few more positions, as if to get. Here, let's say you take it, yes. On average, calculating once more, to keep you from being liquidated here, and so on. They'll understand what I'm talking about. Spectators. Based on this, how would you build it there? Where do you average it there? How do you average? In what volumes there, and so on? Yet again, it's apparent that this poses a significant risk. Basically, no one seems to think anything, especially there in some pro traders. But people see that I entered it here. No matter how much I was liquidated, I was there. While it was a pro trader, I conditionally earned 150% of the deposit there. I am now the god of trading, as it were. Everything seems perfectly fine. Why would one consider stop losses and so forth necessary? But this is not the case. You must understand that you can be liquidated as if you do not limit your risks. Particularly for those who have entered the trading scene recently and may not fully grasp the intricacies, they often struggle with psychological aspects. Indeed, all beginners face these challenges. Well, then they sit there, shake there, and so on. Their nerves begin to get naughty when the price goes in the wrong direction. and so on. I generally advise doing this. Trade for now when you learn to control yourself there, and with stop loss you will receive, or with limited risks. Make a profit there. Yes, you will get there somehow. Here before these, which I said the percentage is 10, 15, 20 per month when you learn to start, then you can already watch some other stories there. Without limiting risk, yes, then you will understand the market, how to trade, at what point to average there, and so on. In what volumes? To get out, when to get out of position? In general, I don't know. I hope the video is useful for you. If anything, ask questions in the comments. Subscribe to the channel. I'll be there more or less every day. Would you like to see reviews on Bitcoin and Ether? See where the market goes as I see it. And so on. Bye everyone.